Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are in Austin doing the top 10 sites in Austin you need to visit. And in my top 10 I have Zilker Park. We start off with Philosopher's Rock, which are three of Austin's most well-known scholars just standing around, chatting. They used to meet at Barton Creek regularly and discuss matters of life and philosophy. So it's nice seeing them still there. If you're at Zilker Park, make sure to go to Barton Springs. It's a spring-fed pool with cool water in the 70s while it'll be blazing hot. During the day, this spring will definitely keep you cool. It's a nice spring-fed pool. You can walk around. It's got plenty of shade. It's got plenty of places to just hang out, be by yourself, swim around. I myself love aquatic plants, so it's cool being able to snorkel and see all the stuff that's down there. But Barton Creek, which feeds into Barton Springs, is probably one of the best things you can do here in Austin during the summer. It's too cold otherwise during the other seasons. And right on the other side of the dam is Barton Springs. If you don't want to pay to get into Barton Springs, then just go to Barton Springs and you can have just as much fun getting in the water. No fees, no nothing, but there's also no lifeguards. And it's a bit more wild and aquatic, as you can tell by those fish that are just swimming there. But it's still a pretty good place to go and relax and enjoy nature. While you're there, make sure to go see the splash exhibit, which talks about the Edwards Aquifer. It's really informative. A lot of people sort of just ignore it, but it teaches you about how the Edwards Aquifer, which is below Austin, gathers its waters and how to protect it and why we must protect it. So don't be going out there spilling all your chemicals into our waters. We take our kids here every year and they love it. They like learning a lot about nature and stuff. Then we have Eliza Spring, which is a home to the Barton Creek salamander. It's an old pool that used to be used by people, but once they found out that the Barton Creek salamander lived there, they closed it off. And there's spring waters that head down into the pool. Another place where the Barton Creek salamander hangs out is at Sunken Springs on the other side. This was also a pool for people to come and enjoy until they realized that the salamander needed protecting, so now they closed it off. You can still see the spring as it feeds Barton Creek, but I like walking around and seeing the cyclopean walls. It's closed off. You're not supposed to go in there. There's a $10,000 fine or something like that. But look at those walls. Just expertly crafted. And I bet you it was cool hanging out back then. Now the Zilker Park Eagle isn't back yet, but hopefully it will be soon. And then there's different fields at Zilker Park that you can enjoy. There's wide open fields for whatever sports you want to play. There's volleyball courts. You get a nice view of downtown from there. And the creek empties out into the Colorado River. And a lot of people like to go surf, paddling, canoeing, and kayaking in this area. It's still part of Barton Creek. It's still part of Zilker Park. There's some nature trails that lead you around. I like them because they're nice and shady. And look at those aquatic plants. And then the famed bridge that people jump off of. This is Lunef Point, which is right at the corner where the creek empties out into the Colorado River. It's also a place where people like coming. Um, right next to Zilker Park is a Umlauf sculpture garden, which provides a collection from Charles Umlauf, one of the greatest sculptors to exist in this past century. You can walk around, see the manicured gardens, and see plenty of his artwork. Some of his artwork is pretty famous. A lot of it is religious based. Zilker Park is also home to the Austin Botanical Gardens with its tea house and Japanese gardens. It's a great place to go and walk around, see some of the beauty, and spot the koi fish, and choose a favorite and name it. But the Austin Botanical Gardens have always been a favorite of mine. I just like going there. I prefer the Japanese area. The other parts, there's a European garden and there's a paleological garden, but definitely the Asian garden or Japanese garden is my favorite by far. And ferns. I love looking at ferns. You can also visit the Austin Nature Center, which is an area that talks about the different plants and animals that live in the area. It's also got a couple of ponds with some trails that you can walk around. It's also home to several birds that have been incapacitated and they've been rescued, so they can't release them back out into the wild, so they make sure to take care of them there. And then you also have some trails in the back of it and a sand pit for the kids to dig up dinosaur bones. That's the Zilker Park. It's one of the best places in Austin to visit, so make sure you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.